Proverbs 3:5-23. Above all else, guard your heart, because everything else flows from it. This is something I'm learning, and I'm hoping to share in this transmission, to guard your heart and not to shut it down, but to really be so mindful of who you let in your heart. And this is something I've learned the hard way, unfortunately, through living in my heart. The last, really year, I feel, is coming into this heart space, and recently going through a lot of grief and the stages of grief, of denial, not realizing we're in grief, and then kind of feeling a sense of, either depression or rage or apathy or anger. And, we can go through these cycles, and this is something I've gone through in my grieving process. And what I notice, they say grief is love with nowhere to go. And right now I'm just moving through probably the only man that I've ever really loved. And with that, I just feel this, it's sadness and pain, but it's a beautiful, peaceful feeling to know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And often when we love and our heart is open, we feel like this sense of love that probably we haven't felt before. And I feel like if you're on a divine feminine awakening journey as well, there'll be that one person that cracks you open, and the last person has really cracked me not in two but wider open. And I never realized that I could actually have a more unconditional type of love. And I think in the past it's always been based more on attachment, and I think every love guides us deeper into loving ourselves, and that's the real essence of love. And yet, with the grief in my heart, it's been moving through me and opening my voice, opening my energy centers, and I feel this like power coming back. And I think when we are loving someone and sharing love with someone, and maybe the love is not reciprocal or suddenly gets shut down or is taken away, it's a shock to the system. And as we move through that kind of pain, pain is a natural part of our evolution, and it doesn't have to be suffering. I think suffering is when we get stuck in the mind and we're not allowing the energy to flow freely, and that's when we feel contraction and stagnation, our creativity. And I notice for me, like, soon as I kind of love my grief, because as soon as I start to grieve, like, I have this like creative like download, like poems are coming out, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And even though I'm in the depth of like snot coming out of my nose and just like looking at pictures of this beautiful man and like reminiscing on what could be and loving the potential of who he is, and in that humility, I'm on my knees and I'm praying to God, and I'm asking Jesus to show me how to protect my heart and be more discerning with whom and what energy I allow into my heart space. And this is something I've had to learn the hard way, and maybe you too. And this is why I love the Proverbs 3:5-23. Above all else, guard your heart, because everything else flows from it. And I don't mean this in a bad way. I don't mean that we should guard our heart and not share it with the world. I share my heart always with the world. Yet, often not, as women, especially on this divine feminine awakening path, we can often have so much love to give and feel so much love and so much feeling that the discernment piece is not there, and maybe the love is not being reciprocated. And I don't mean in this conditional way, but often or not, when we have such big hearts and we have so much love, it's very overwhelming for a masculine man, if he's not rooted in his heart, to receive. And I think this is something that I've learned, is I've been attracting unavailable, avoidant men, because there's also a part of me that is unavailable and avoidant, and it's easier to chase or to pursue someone that's not available. Because imagine if we get chosen, imagine if we are receiving a love so big, so great, that we've never received. It can be terrifying. And I think this is often what love is. It's a dismantling of the ego. It's a breaking down of the shell, it's the mask coming off, it's the peeling away of everything. And I remember, you know, just declaring my love to this man and like snot coming out my nose, and he's just laughing at me because I'm just like confessing my love and how I want to be his wife and have his children, and I'm ready for the next step. And he's just like, I think you need to move on. And I'm like, stab a man while he's down. And, you know, and it was so beautiful because in that moment, yeah, love is freedom, love is letting go. And it's so funny because I told him this quote, like, love lets go, fear holds on. And he's now using it against me. And I laugh because love does let go. And, you know, true unconditional love, it took me a few days to kind of grieve. And it's been a process the last couple of months. But initially having this kind of, you know, awakening of like, the door's definitely shut. This then can, you know, catalyze the grief again. And, you know, grief is just comes in waves, right? And often or not, I feel like I like this topic of faith over feeling. Often if we, you know, sometimes we can believe in these stories and we can kind of create our own reality. I know I can anyway. And God is really showing us sometimes when we're listening and we're present that coming into union with God first, which is kind of the journey that this breakup has kind of led me to. The last breakup was coming into a deeper connection to God, and this has been a journey for years. I'm only just really speaking about it now, but as it's maturing. But coming into union with, or coming into connection to God through Jesus has been the next kind of catalyst for me, and hence why the cross and the Bible quotes. And, you know, it's not like an identity shift in a sense, because you don't have to be religious to love Jesus, you know. And I love Jesus because he speaks truth and brings unity and peace and connection and love. And this is really what the path that I'm on is, really bringing more of peace, love, joy into my life and truth. And, you know, like I said before, the truth will set you free. Often or not, I know I've been suffering for the last 2 months, not having a closure with someone that I love. And then, you know, creating stories in my mind that, you know, he's maybe just like waiting for me to get back to Australia, and then we'll, you know, live happily ever after. And meanwhile, that's just not the case for him. So interestingly, like, guard our hearts, and not in a way that we need to not share love. We can still be in truth in our heart, but I think there's a discernment piece as we start to go on this awakening journey, and we start to come into natural states of more genuine unconditional love. Yeah, we have to be a little bit more mindful who we give our love to, and really being in a space of, it's not, is this person worthy, but is this person reciprocating a genuine care for my heart, a genuine yearning for my safety, a genuine desire for my safety, and clear communication around the desires that are rooted in a connection to, you know, God. And I think that's really what I'm now seeking, not even seeking, but embodying this connection to God and this union with God. And the more I kind of anchor into that frequency and that kind of vibration, you know, the next relationship I know is going to be a very deep, beautiful one. And yeah, probably my husband. And that's my prayer. And yeah, your poem is your prayer. And I feel for anyone that's going through grief right now, I just want to hold you in my prayers and just, yeah, send you some love. And I know how intense it can be to have this big wave of emotion come through you, and it feels like you're dying sometimes. And, you know, just, this shall pass, and breathe through it, but allow yourself to feel it, because there's so much medicine. There's so much medicine in your grief, and I pray that you can actualize this medicine and turn it into your music, into your poems, into your creative energy, and know that, you know, what doesn't crack us in two cracks us wider open. And my prayer for you is that you can allow yourself to be loved, to be seen, to be held, and to fall apart gracefully, and to bring yourself back together again, because there's nothing more beautiful than love. And yes, we have to guard our hearts, but yeah, don't build a wall. Just make sure the the person entering it is also in the heart. And that's what I've learned. We're not here to wake anyone else up that's not anchored in the heart. That's their job to do. I'm learning from my mistakes. No more men that are not rooted in the heart already. I'm not here to do that anymore. It's not my job. I don't want to save anyone but myself. Jesus saved us. But yeah, I'm really humbly learning from my lessons, and I'm hopefully sharing them for you, so you don't have to learn the hard way like me. Sending you so much love, and if you love this video, share it with a friend, you know, like it, ask any questions you may have, and I'm just sending you so much love. I have a head to heart initiation every month live. Check it out on the link in the bio, and you can sign up and start receiving things straight away, and then we do it live in my Telegram group, and that's like a free 7-day initiation. I run women's circles once a month. I'm in London doing events and somatic healing packages in person, online. So if you're really feeling like you'd love some deeper energetic work and coming into union with God, then I'm so here to celebrate you and support you and support you in this journey of the divine feminine awakening. And it's, yeah, accessing that power portal of our heart is just so magical and deep and incredible. And I'm just like so excited to see you shine and to see these gifts that come align. And, you know, the grief is really the portal to our medicine. So share that medicine with the world. Much love.